Thank you. We're going to take you back to that story from Bridgeport coming up in the next half hour. But we want to turn now to the first day of school for students in Hartford. They received quite the welcome this morning, not only from leaders of their district as well as the mayor and the governor, but also from a group in the community that has spent the better part of a decade cheering on our kids. Here's NBC Connecticut's Jennifer Joas. All right. Well, happening tonight, parents concerned about mold at a Windsor elementary school are set to hear from leaders today at a special board meeting of education. It is going to be a listen-only meeting. They are not going to be taking any questions, and this comes after an employee of tonight. We're going to see you back here in about 30 minutes with another live. I'm Leslie Mays here with a look at what is happening right now. Police in Cromwell, state police rather, say they were called to Cromwell this morning to investigate a suspicious incident. This happened around 1 a.m. near I-91 South near exit 22 North. They have not given us any details. Turning now to the weather, some sunshine and some clouds today. Meteorologist Anthony Carpino is here. Back to you. All right, Anthony, thank you. Coming up in 60 seconds, Dave Matthews Band heading back to Connecticut. We've got details on the back-to-back concerts coming up next. 15th. All right, today at 4, leaders are negotiating the Medicare prices, and we are taking a closer look at the potential savings and the effect that it could have on people who rely on it. Plus, what the state is doing to address parents' concerns about mold inside of a Windsor elementary school. And students are going back to school in Hartford today. We'll tell you how a special community organization made their send-off a really good day. I'm Leslie Mays. We're going to see you this afternoon starting at 4. And don't forget, for the public's help following a deadly crash last night. That crash, it involved a group of dirt bike and ATV riders that police say were driving recklessly. And they want pictures, videos, or any information to be their piece of evidence that was taken from the scene if they can get it. NBC Connecticut's Siobhan McGurl is at Long Hill Road and Meriden Street Extension where all of this happened. North Haven firefighter Anthony DeSimone has been posthumously promoted to lieutenant. DeSimone, happening tonight, mold at a Windsor school is going to be the topic of discussion at a special Board of Education meeting. It is going to be a game changer for millions of Americans. Medicare will now be able to negotiate the price of 10 prescription drugs. It is the first time that the government has done so, and there are some hurdles to overcome. They've been talking about this for years, but the Biden administration says this will save thousands of dollars when it comes to out-of-pocket costs for Medicare customers. NBC's Alice Barr is live at the White House tonight with details. Al? All right, we've got some good news to tell you about. If you're planning to take a long drive on this Labor Day weekend, gas is getting a... Welcome back. Breaking barriers down south, the Friday night lights are going to shine on a pair of trailblazers on the gridiron. They are. 2 middle school girls will be playing full contact football. Robert Castillo with the story. Please. Hey, listen, the girl's just as tough as the guys. That is awesome, man. That's really cool. The mom's like, she's going to find it or she's not. She'll be fine. Yeah, she is fine. All right, stay with us. There's much more news ahead at 5:30. There is. Kevin and Amber here with what's next, guys. Mike. So the news at 6. I'm Mike Hyde. And I'm Leslie Mays. Some residents of a Manchester apartment complex are on edge tonight after a bullet was fired into one of the units. Police say they're searching for 2 suspects now. NBC Connecticut's Mike Massaro with the details. Police in Groton are investigating a deadly crash that involved a group of dirt bikes and ATVs. Happened at a... To you. All right, thanks, Ryan. Some financial relief could be coming for costly prescription drugs if you are enrolled in Medicare. Today, the federal government listed 10 drugs they will be negotiating the cost of with manufacturers. This all starts next year. NBC Connecticut's Kevin Guy spoke with an expert about the impact that a move like this will have. Date tonight at 11. North Haven firefighter Anthony DeSimone has been posthumously promoted to lieutenant. All right, it's going to be slightly less expensive to get where you're going if you're planning on driving this Labor Day week. Welcome back. As we figured out in our household this morning, the start of school can be stressful for students and parents. You have the earlier alarm clocks. Lunches need to be made, the bus to catch, of course. But we still have one last gasp of summer. You parents have a lot to do this time of year. NBC Connecticut responds. Caitlin Burchell joins us now with travel tips for this long Labor Day weekend so you can make your time off as stress-free as possible. Caitlin. That's what we all want, stress-free, right? And it's just something to think about, but just something to keep in mind, Leslie. All right, useful information, though, so you can have a good ease back into the school year. Caitlin, thank you so much. Now to sports. UConn men's basketball released its non-conference schedule today, and there are a few games that we should be circling on the calendar. Matt Finkel's here looking at his sports. Matt? Great. Mike and Leslie, back to you guys. All right, thank you, Matt. We will be right back.
Join us tonight for the news at 7 and then again at 11.
But first, next on, and thank you so much for joining us for the news at 7. I'm Leslie Mays. It is time now to get you up to speed on today's top headlines. A woman is dead and a man is seriously hurt after crashing into a car while driving a dirt bike in Groton Police Center. For the first time, we are hearing from the parents of a University of South Carolina student from Madison who was shot and killed for apparently trying to get into the wrong. Well, right now, parents concerned about mold at a Windsor school are at a special Board of Education meeting trying to get some answers. All right, we are about to start National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. It has been a little over a year since the Suicide Prevention Lifeline went from a 10-digit number to just 3-988. The goal was to make it easier for people in crisis to find help, and apparently it gets. Dr. Sakara says if you know somebody who is struggling right now, remember that you are not going to be their therapist. His best advice is to be supportive and don't make them feel forced. Well, the prices for 10 prescription drugs could soon come down as the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services get ready to negotiate with major drug companies. As Kevin Geis explains, that is a big deal to the more than 65 million Americans who use Medicare. Well, the clock is ticking for a transportation company and the local union to agree on a new contract and avoid a bus strike for Meriden Public Schools. Students go back to class tomorrow, but both sides have until 11:59 p.m. Thursday to reach an agreement. But with days left, NBC Connecticut's Dave Peck reports the union called the latest proposal insulting. That was our Dave Peck reporting. Now, if no progress is made, Meriden Public Schools expect that buses will run as usual until the contract expires at that deadline on Thursday. Up next here on the news at 7, how students are feeling on this first day at Connecticut State after a dozen community colleges merged. Welcome back. It is the first day of school for community college students, and it's structured in a new way this year because the campuses statewide have now consolidated into one Connecticut State Community College. Dane Caffrey has reaction from students. It was also the first day back for students in Hartford. Lots of community leaders were all there to help kids start the year right, including Calling All Brothers, who have been giving kids a wonderful welcome for the better part of a decade. NBC Connecticut's Jennifer Joas was there this year to see it. Well, a Shoreline shop is a book lover's dream. It's got more than 500,000 of them on display. CT Live's Taylor Kinsler takes us on a tour of the Book Barn in Niantic that has been providing customers with a literary escape since the 80s. Christmas. Stay with us. Your Tuesday night takeaway is coming up, but first. We are back now with the most adorable addition to the East Haven Fire Department. That sweet boy there on your screen, that is Riggs, who was actually rescued last weekend from a hot car. NBC Connecticut's Amber Diaz shows us why Riggs is the perfect addition to the crew. It is time now for tonight's takeaway. In the years since the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline became just 3 numbers, calls have increased in Connecticut by about 60%. Doctors say that is a step in the right direction because it means that we are connecting more people with life-saving help. Starting next year, Medicare will be able to negotiate directly with major drug companies over the cost of prescription medications. That could mean lower prices for millions of Americans across our nation. The Biden administration has announced the first 10 eligible drugs. They include medications for diabetes as well as blood thinners. And a transportation company and a local union have until Thursday to reach a deal on a new contract to avoid a bus strike that could impact Meriden Public Schools. That's going to do it for the news at 7 tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Leslie Mays. There's lots more news and weather coming up tonight on the news at 11. In the meantime, have a great evening.